So when you go to convert a decimal to a fraction, if you know how to read decimals properly, this is really not that hard of a process. So I'm going to show you a couple of different examples. So first of all, let's say that I've got, we'll do 66 hundredths. That's a decimal. So if I just read it as a decimal and think of it in fraction terms, 66 hundredths would be written like this as a fraction. So there it is. It's 66 hundredths. Now, most of the time when you're writing fractions, you have to make sure those fractions are in simplest form. Same thing here. So 66 hundredths, I know, can be simplified because you've got an even number as a numerator and an even number as a denominator. That's a dead giveaway every single time. So I know they can both be divided by 2. So if I do that, I get 33 over 50. Well, so when I look at that, 50 can be divided by 2, 33 can only be divided by 3, and 50 cannot be divided by 3. So this is simplest form. So if I was converting this to a fraction in simplest form, it would be 33 fiftieths. That would be my answer if I was working a problem like this. So let's say that we've got one. Let's go a little bit more complicated. Let's say I've got one that looks like this. We'll say right there. In fact, I'm going to even make it more complicated than that. I'm going to do you that favor. How about that? So let me get a little bit larger eraser and erase this thing right here. Get my pencil back. So 242 thousandths is the way I say that. So if I wrote it as a fraction, it would be like this. Now I've got to simplify this fraction. 242, the numerator, is even. 1,000, the denominator, is even. So they can both definitely be simplified. So the first thing I'm going to see is, I know I can divide 1,000 by 4. Can I divide 242 by 4? No, I can't, because half of it is going to include a 1, because half of 42 is 21. So that's not going to work. So I'll begrudgingly just go ahead and divide it by 2 over 2. So that is going to be 121 over 500. Now, 121, I know can be, well, I know that it can be divided by 11, because 11 times 11 is 121. But I know 500 cannot be divided by 11. So I'm going to say that this one right here is going to be in simplest form, because 500 could be divided by 10 or 5, but 121 can't be divided by either one of those. So I'm going to say this one's in simplest form. There's not much else we can do to it. So after I put this one in simplest form, there it is. So this is all you've got to do. You just simply take the decimal and think of it in terms of fractions. So when it's the hundredths, it's over 100. When it's a thousandths, it's over 1,000. And when it's tenths, it's over 10. Which I didn't give you an example of that here, but I think that you can figure that out. And then, of course, you've got to simplify it. So that's all you do when you are taking decimals and converting them into fractions.